What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Friday update. So this week will probably be a bit shorter, not too much going on in terms of the tanks. Haven't done too much, just letting things grow in and trying to get the pond together. Not too much has happened with that, so we won't even be looking at that today. I'll probably go a little more in depth on my plans for the 40-gallon, things that I like, things that didn't go well, just for future learning for myself and for everybody else, anyone who's watching. So let's get started. We'll take a look at the nano tank real quick, and you guys can see that there isn't too much that has changed really. Looks like my CO2 has finally run out, so that must have happened today. So I guess that was probably about 3 weeks. I'll have to double check the exact dates, but it should be about 3 weeks of CO2 that I got from that. The tank otherwise is looking pretty good. The moss looks okay. I think it's doing alright. Nothing, it doesn't seem to be growing too much, but it also isn't dying back. The Physidens looks really good. The dwarf sage and the dwarf hairgrass are looking okay, and the crypts look pretty good. I may have to do some trimming in the back there on a few leaves that look like they're dead, so that we can get some new growth in. For this tank, next week will probably be the week that I get a beta, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully in next week's update we'll have a new Mr. Bird, or a tentative Mr. Bird. I'll talk a little more in depth on that. Probably next week we'll go a little more in depth on this tank. Alright, but now we're going to head into the fish room and look at the other tanks, terrariums, all that fun stuff, and we'll talk about the 40-gallon. So the first tank we'll look at is, real quickly, the geranium. The crypts look like they're doing okay. They're not growing very much, but they are very slow growers, but they also don't look like they're dying back too bad. I did have a little die off at first, but nothing too severe. The val doesn't look like it's growing too much. Actually, I may need to trim a leaf or two and see if that helps it grow. However, the anarchus, if I back up, you guys can see that there is a lot. I'm going to do some trimming on it tomorrow, probably rescape this maybe a little bit, or just cut some and replant them. But this stuff is taken off like a weed. It's all over the place, so I am glad to see that at least something's growing in the geranium here. So we'll keep an eye on that. And we'll keep moving. We'll take a quick look at the shrimp tank. Things are looking good here. Let's see if I can get you guys, while I talk about this, all situated. Things are going pretty well here. The cardinals look great. The cherry shrimp are all over the place. I think in a couple days, maybe sometime next week, I may see if I can get a couple of these cherry shrimp and try and put them in the pond. And then I think my plan for the pond will be, after the cherry shrimp, hopefully some survive and are doing okay in there, the end of the month, I'm thinking I'm going to try and add some guppies and let them grow in there until after we get back from vacation. And then after vacation, I may consider getting some platies, depending on how full the pond is looking and how the other fish are doing. Because it is hot here in Florida, so I know my water temperature is going to be up there, so hopefully I have enough oxygen in there to keep these fish okay. But I think the guppies will be a good chance, since they cost me nothing. It'll be a good chance to test out some different animals, if you will, in the pond and see if I can get them growing, then maybe I will actually spend a bit more money and get some platies to throw in there and see if that gets them growing, and we maybe have some left over. And if you're in my area, a couple months, I may be looking to try and get rid of some, so keep posted for that. And then the last, but certainly not least, is going to be this 40-gallon. So we'll go a little more in depth on the 40-gallon as you guys kind of get a closer look at it. So the idea that I had for this tank was really kind of two different armies, if you will. I was looking more for like, I thought of naming this tank the Battlegrounds, like two armies, something like that, because I really did try to get like the left side over here with kind of more rounded plants. My idea was kind of getting more rounded in size as you reach the very back. Also, like the higher tiers of an army. So the front line was going to be lots of like tiny carpeting plant, hopefully dwarf baby tears if this guy right here takes off. I've got a lot of dying back, but I'm hoping that some of the roots will start taking and I will get some growth, and hopefully it'll take off here in a couple weeks. The Ludwigia behind it, I think, is an okay option for kind of that in-between. It's growing really well. I do have some like alternating colors in there. I wanted to get good color on both sides. I think some of the Ludwigia, you can see, hopefully has a little bit of red on the bottom of the leaves that is like a Repens, and then I have these like dark red Ludwigia in the back that are actually looking really good and are adding a nice red color to that side. Behind it, I have Bacopa Australis, I think it is. And they're okay. I might have gotten a different kind of Bacopa to have more rounded leaves, but their leaves are pretty round, and it does kind of break up that color of like red to green back to red in the back, which is what I wanted. And you can probably see in the very back there I have that dwarf tiger or red tiger lotus, and that's doing really well. So I'm very pleased with that color, the pattern I have going on there. So that's this side I'm actually pretty pleased with. I do need to do a little bit of trimming here with the Bacopa and the Ludwigia here. Once again, I'm hoping these dwarf baby tears take. If they don't, I am not gonna try again. I will just probably get like Monte Carlo or something and call that good. So on top of that, we'll kind of move to the mid-ground here. This mid-ground, as you can see, I have some snail eggs going on there, but the mid-ground here is kind of that battlefield area, so I wanted a good divider. I used sand with some nano dragonstone. Yeah, nano dragonstone from Aquarium Co-op. Great rocks. It was an awesome buy. I will definitely be getting their nano Cereus stone and their nano branches for future scapes. I think they're super helpful. They come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and it did give like a nice extra feature to the mid-ground here without it just being a plain flat battlefield. And then on the right over here, which could be a little bit tricky for you guys to see, but it was kind of the hair grasses, the needle type of army, if you will. So I want dwarf hairgrass to grow up front here, which I may have to get a bit more, but I'm not too worried about having issues with that growing. The Alternera Renickii Mini, AR Mini, sorry, it's such a mouthful for me, but the AR Mini here, it's doing okay. I do have a little bit of die-off, but overall it's not looking too bad. I do think I am missing some kind of key element in my water. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I'm still trying to diagnose that because I am seeing some issues on the right over here. It's definitely not doing as well as I would have liked. and I'm still trying to figure out why I'm having so many issues and so much die off. But right behind it, I'm going to rescape this section where I want to move the Rotala Haraz, right? All these nice pink leaves, I want to move them right behind the AR minis, Rotala Waliki right behind that, and then the giant hairgrass in the back, just so I kind of get that, the leaf narrows in size as you get up to the top where it becomes the giant hairgrass here. Similar kind of concept on the left side, you know, varying color and then size, and it gets closer and closer to the object I want at the very end. Also larger in size, from like getting, you know, small to medium to large to then sticking out of the back of the tank, which I'm hoping I will get some lily pads over with these red tiger lotus over in the back there. But I do plan on putting the Haraz here, the Waleki in the back. I'm definitely going to try and do some trimming here. If you look real closely on some of those Haraz, some of the leaves are dying off. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Some of it looks really good, some of it does not look so good. So I'm a little concerned about how this is going to continue, or if I'm just going to end up losing these Haraz. Once again, I think there's something missing out of the tap water or whatever I'm dosing here. I am dosing Easy Green, and I am dosing iron regularly with CO2. So it's a pretty high-tech tank, but I'm seeing a lot of nitrate that's not going away. It's not being picked up by the plants, and I think that is a sign for me that I am missing some kind of limiting element. So I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it may require me to go get some Flourish Trace or something that I get those micronutrients in, and keep working on troubleshooting, diagnosing this tank. With the trimming and the moving of the plants, hopefully this will start looking a lot better in a couple weeks. I'm hoping that I have this looking real nice, so I have some take some good pictures I can take before I leave and then after I come back, just to show you all and myself the progress that happens in 1 week's time while you're away on vacation, because it seems like plants like to grow a lot when you're gone on vacation. But overall, like, the tank here started out really good. The guppies seem to be doing really well. The cories seem to be doing really well. The snails are doing really well. So all my fish and inverts and everything are really happy, which is great. That's the most important thing for me. But on top of it, trying to make this more of like my display tank, if you will. I really do want to try and improve on my plants, especially on this right side. The left side's doing pretty good. I just need to get that one carpeting plant down, which I'm having some trouble. Again, the dwarf baby tears, always a challenge for me, and the cories don't make it any easier, because if they're not really securely in the ground, those cories will knock them right up, and I've been getting a lot of floating plants because of that very reason. So but that's about all I got for this week, everybody. It turned out to be a bit longer of a video, but I hope you guys liked it. If you got ideas or for the name of this tank right back here, please let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you like this video, just go ahead and like it. Questions, you can always leave a question. I'll be happy to answer anything I can, to the best of my ability. Of course, I'm no professional, kind of. And as always, like or subscribe, share, help me get that word out. Again, we do have big things coming, but you know, it's just the way. You gotta wait on the tanks. You can't force it, you can't rush it. It's a game of patience. So like all of this, we're gonna have to take it one step at a time. But hopefully next week there will be a bit more to talk about, and I will go more in depth in the nano tank there, and we'll work from there. So I hope to see you guys in a new video. Hope to see you guys next time. And I'm probably about to go do some yoga, so take care.